Hey, what is up guys? This is AJ Builds back with another video, and in today's Cities Skylines console tutorial, you are going to learn how to create your very own custom map on Cities Skylines Xbox or PS4 edition. Okay, I know that there isn't an official map editor on console to create your own map like you can on PC, but with a little creativity and a lot of terraforming, it's actually possible to do something like this. To turn a generic Cities Skylines map like this into something more like this. Pretty much a unique custom map to build on that you made. So let's get right into the steps on how you're actually going to accomplish this. Step 1, think of what you want your map to look like, or use Google Maps to find somewhere that you kind of want to replicate. Then find the generic Cities Skylines map that has the colors and similar type area looking place that you want. Then choose that map and create a new city. Now all you're going to need to do to create this new city is make sure that you have unlimited money turned on and unlimited soil turned on. That way you can terraform the map however you want without any limitations. Okay, so step number 2, preparations. Step number 2 starts out with buying all the land that you think you're going to need to create your new unique map. And I know we console players are limited with the amount of squares we're able to buy being only 9 squares of land, but we can make it work. So just buy the land that you think you're going to need, and next up you're going to want to delete all the pre-made highways and railroads that come with the map, just to leave them out of the way so they're not disrupting anything in the future. This then brings us to step number 3, which is terrain terraforming. And what I mean is leveling and softening the terrain to your liking. Now you could save this step to the very last, but I tend to do it right away in the beginning just to get it out of the way. Alright, so leveling the terrain to the level you want your buildings to go on is actually quite simple. All you have to do is go down to the landscaping tab and hit the level terrain option. In doing so, you'll be able to level off anything you want by selecting the area you want things to be level 2 with the X button on Xbox and the square button on PS4. And after that, all you have to do is hold the A button on Xbox or the X button on PS4 to landscape. Softening terrain is also quite easy. All you have to do is hold the A button on Xbox or the X button on PS4, and you can smooth, soften, or even slope any terrain you want. After that step, which you could just save until the very end, we have step number 4, which is when we start to make the map our own. Alright, I'm talking mountains, lakes, waterfall, plateaus, and much more. Alright, like there is a ton of stuff you can do to make the map unique and your own. I'm not going to go into full detail in this next section. I'm simply just going to go over the things you can do to make your map unique, because this is just a map editing / custom map creation guide, not a full out tutorial on how to make a mountain, for example, or a lake. But if you want to see those tutorials, all you gotta do is subscribe and they will come out in the near future. Alright, back to the video. So the first thing you can do, and the first thing I did, was build a mountain. Alright, the mountain's actually quite simple to do. You just use the raise or lower tool using A on the Xbox controller or X on the PS4 controller, and you raise the land up and then drag out the rest of the land to make it look like a mountain that's coming up to the top. I will go into more detail on the tutorial on how to make a mountain on my channel. The next thing I did was build 2 lakes. Alright, these are man-made, self-sustaining lakes that took a little longer than the mountain to do. This one involves having a level base surrounded by elevated land, which has a road for an outline, and then filling it up with freshwater outlets and a water pump. Once the lake is filled up, you take out most of the freshwater outlets and leave only 2 in there, and you're able to have a self-sustaining lake that won't dry out or overflow. This just adds a lot of detail to the map, being that there's numerous water sources and you can add a lot of detail around the lake. Once you get the hang of this, repeating this process is quite easy, like almost as easy as hitting the like button on this video. Another thing you can do to make the map unique is create a waterfall. Now this waterfall is actually super easy to make, so I'm just going to explain it right here, and probably have a tutorial on my channel coming out soon. But anyway, all you have to do is put a freshwater outlet on the top of a plateau or inside of the mountain, so that the water is coming out to another water source, like the ocean or a lake even. Once you did that, make sure that you can visibly see the water coming down the mountain, and that you have something at the bottom for the water to go on. After that, you can pretty much just add whatever decorations you want, and you have a waterfall. The final unique addition I made to the map would be this plateau over here, which I then put a highway down the middle with these highway walls. I'm going to include how to create these highway walls in a Cities Skylines console tips and tricks video coming in the future. There are numerous ways you can utilize this, like you could put the highway going underground, but then have these walls up so it's not actually going underground, it's just below everything else. Or you could put this through a mountain, you can put this pretty much anywhere. You can then have overpasses going over the highway and the highway walls, just to add a lot of detail and functionality to the city. After all that is completed, the fifth step would pretty much just be to add decorations, which is pretty much just trees and vegetation. It could sometimes be a cave in the mountain like you see here, and pretty much just going wild and making the land look how you want it to look. That brings us to our sixth and final step, which is just adding the roads and train lines back into existence, just how we took them out in the first step. Alright, so make sure you have them as you want them to be, and you're ready to build a city on the unique map that you just created. Now that we're done, just remember guys that this map could have looked however you wanted to look. Alright, the more time you spend on it, the better it's gonna look. Alright, I didn't actually spend that much time on my map, and if I were really creating a unique map, this is not how I would actually want it to look. But this was just a demonstration to show you all of the different things that you could do with your map, alright. You could have just flattened all of the land and created a city on a barren wasteland, alright. You could have built a mountain range, built your city in the Alps. You could do whatever you please, alright. With these terraforming options you have to choose from, and these different methods and techniques that I showed you in this video, you can do whatever you want with your map. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Comment if you had any questions, or if you want me to go into more detail down in the comment section. I will be replying in under 24 hours. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like. If you want to see a whole playlist that I'm going to put out on terraforming and map editing, like how to create a mountain, how to build a lake, or how to create a waterfall, then just subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in that next video.